Hello and welcome to Tarot Siddhi on VOICESNVIEWS.com. My name is Prasiddhi Mishra and I'm a tarot reader. In today's episode, we'll continue learning about the Major Arcana cards number 6 and 7, which are Lovers and the Chariot. Now moving forward with the Lovers, this is a very beautiful card, very beautifully painted here. And I would straight away like to go on to the visual elements of this card because it's just such love in this card every time I see it. Of course, I don't have to say that these Adam and Eve here are soulmates, or better still, twin souls. So when this card comes in a reading, obviously we are talking about love, but then most importantly, it's a card of choice. When you see the Lovers card coming out, when you read about this card, think of one word, which is choice. When we look at the visual elements of this card, we can clearly see a couple here and the angel hovering on top of them. This card stands for the word choice, not just love. And in any other tarot deck, especially the classic tarot, you will find that rather than the angel, there's another man standing. There are three human beings in this card, which clearly shows that probably there's a love triangle happening and the woman is making a choice between the two men, or vice versa in some modern tarot decks. So nevertheless, there is definitely a choice involved, and these individuals have to come at a choice, especially in respect to the areas related to the things that you're passionate about. So if it's coming in a tarot reading which deals with a career based question, you obviously have to choose something that you love rather than the rational decision that you're arriving at, that you have studied something and you should probably go in that field, but your heart lies in something totally different. So every time this card comes in a situation like that, it means that forget about what you have studied, let that be your education, let that be enriching you in some other ways. But when it comes to doing, then you should do that which you love to do, and that's where your success path lies. The Lovers here in the visual elements, you can see there's a lot of bright yellow, that's the halo of the angel. It looks like the sun. The number 6 is placed on top of it, and it's interesting numerology because number 6 in numerology stands for love. It's the number of Venus. So obviously this card is totally dedicated to that energy. The angel with his hands raised is blessing both the characters here, and the Adam and Eve are definitely making a choice. There's a serpent behind the tree where this lady is standing. The typical biblical tale comes to mind, and here's the Adam again. They are not shown wearing any clothes in the Rider-Waite deck because they are showing the typical archaic images, but it's not necessary. They could be dressed up in any finery, they could be dressed up in any way. It's not really specific, doesn't really hold any such meaning, but mostly it's about making a choice, though it says the Lovers. So we need to keep that in mind. And when this card goes upside down, obviously it means there's a problem in the love relationship, there's a problem in a soulmate relationship. Soulmate relationships are a little tough to handle. They have a lot of karmic bondages and a lot of karmic baggage which comes with them. So you have to deal with them with a lot of passion and a lot of wisdom in your mind. And when this card is coming reversed, a coupling relationship is going through some obvious trouble, and it's also happening because one or both of these people are having a difficulty with choosing something. Maybe there's a third angle, maybe there's a third person in the relationship. More often than not, it's always there. So when this card comes reversed, the choices that you're making are not very wise. So you have to be very careful with the direction in which you're going. This card can come in any situation, in any problem solving spread, but it'll always mean that the choice that you're making has to be inclined with the love in your heart, and you have to keep that message in mind. These are the two words, love and the choice, and choosing to love and choosing to stay in love is also a very deep choice, and that's what tarot is trying to tell us. Tarot tells us to choose love if we want to manifest something beautiful in our lives. Moving on to the Lovers card, when the journey of the Fool is still continuing, probably the Fool has met the love of his life and now he's choosing her or she's choosing him. But now they are on another journey here, and that's the journey which the Chariot is telling us to take. Now when you look at the Chariot, you could look at the character who's standing in the center, or you could straight away zoom onto the Chariot and the way the Chariot looks. And the Chariot stands for life. It stands for where the journey of life takes you. There are two characters here which look like Egyptian characters, but it could be horses. In another deck that I possess, they look like they are horses. They are very clear, typical Chariot. When you look at this character, he's very, very clear. He's looking directly towards his destination. He's very smart with his choices because he knows that there's a black path, there's a white path. He knows which direction to take. You cannot just sway him from his path very easily. This person is a very, very determined person. So when this comes in a reading, and if it stands for a human being, when you feel it depicts a person, it's all about the feeling really. So when it feels that it depicts a person, this person is very headstrong. This person cannot be swayed by any Tom, Dick and Harry telling them what to do, what not to do. They've made up their mind. They're going to go straight ahead and get their job done. They're going to go straight ahead in what they want out of their lives. They know good from bad. There are angel wings in between. There's another symbol here. Very, very royal looking carriage this person is standing on. When you look at the costume that this character is wearing, he's dressed up like a typical warrior, which also means that the work that you're undertaking should be done on war footing. You have to be very firm with things that you have to do. And this is a very, very positive card in general. If it's coming as a final outcome card or as an advice card, it just means that the path that you're taking will be without any troubles. There won't be any obstacles on your way. You can just go and get that thing done. When this is reversed, obviously it might look like a vehicular accident, that because it's a chariot, and in today's world the chariot is the car or the vehicle that you drive. So you have to be very, very careful with that in a very, very day-to-day basis. Like in the morning, if you take a daily guidance card and this comes, be very careful how you drive. So you can see these cards can be applied on a very, very daily, hourly basis, like morning, afternoon, evening. Or you could look at it as a long-term philosophical reading and it would still hold true for you. The basic thing that you need to remember about the chariot is that there's a rider who's riding, who's going on his path. Every time you look at a card, see where your eye falls for the first time. What is it that you see for the first time when you look at a card? That's where the message is coming from. If you look at the man here, we are talking about the person. If you look at the chariot first, remember it's talking about the journey that is being taken or the vehicle somebody is traveling into. So the first time when you open the cards and your gaze falls on the first element, that which you get attracted to the first time, that's the thing you need to keep in mind, because that's what the cards are trying to talk to you about. So today we spoke about the lovers and the chariot, the journey that is started with the lovers, the choice that you've made with the lovers, that needs to be taken to its final destination. You have to go ahead on the path of love with very, very clear mind. And that's what these two cards, card 6 and card 7 of the Major Arcana, talk to us about. So with this, I end today's episode of Tarot Siddhi. I'll see you again next week with 2 more cards of the Major Arcana that follow the lovers and the chariot. So see you next week and happy living.